single rainbow fan. Let's just start off with the 2 hands circling. Now release the hip in the direction that you're traveling. So here I release to my left, and now I release to my right. So this is ensuring that you're supporting yourself with your quads and you're soft and relaxed in your hips. When you're raising at the end of the movement, you're raising with the radius bone in your arm. Now let's go down to the bottom, and I'll go the other way. Relax the tailbone, and then relax the hip. So there's a sequence here. Relax the tailbone, relax the hip. Relax the tailbone and relax the hip. Now, let's hand to the bicep, open, come back, open, and back, open, and back, open, and back, open, and back, open. So here, this is essentially a Leah circle. Now in Tai Chi forms, you have positions where you're open like that and you're looking here. In Chen style, you often have movements where you're following the fan with your eyes like this. So different ways of directing eyes to where the fan is, okay? So let's do now here, up, forward, 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 go the other way. Open, close, open, back. Go back and forth. Palm up, palm down, palm up, palm down, palm up, palm down, up, down, out, open, close, back, circle, circle, circle. So Leah reeling again, slide flying, raise hand, step up. So here, down, back, open, close, here, circle, slide flying, raise hand, step up, down, back, open, back, close, circle, slide flying, raise hand, step up, single whip, push, open, close, circle, follow step, open, push, open, close, turn, open, Grasper's tail. Cloud hands. Practice the fan here. All righty. Are there any questions from last week? Or 2 weeks ago it was. Any questions at all from 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Right after the first Fair Lady, you go through a series of contortions, and I find it very awkward when the fan comes down and you've got your elbow out.
Okay, let's have a look at that. We're going to be getting to that pretty early in the form. So
Okay.
wait until we're going through the sequence.
Okay.
There was also something that Sophie brought up about the hand position shortly after that I wanted to look at. Other things I should look at. There are 2 points, one from Bob, one from me. From last week, any particular confusions? Okay, let's try it then. And we'll stop from time to time on the way. Ooh, I just lost my speaker view there. I think initially it might be best if I went across this way. So, salute. Start to spiral down. Spiral down further. Front. Straight to the rear. Protect the head. Protect the knee. Level the hands. Step through. Then 1, 2. Turn. Turn. Around. And up. Now I think this is what Bob was talking about. Down. Is that what you were after, Bob?
Yes, it was the. I mean,
I don't feel my elbow up anywhere there. So I'm not quite sure what you're after. Here's the Fair Lady works the shuttles. Here's the cover.
Yeah, that's
Closing.
just
Here.
no, it's a point where you've got your elbow out.
Here. You mean here?
No. When you're coming there, right in about there. I find that quite awkward. My what do I say? My wrist seems to be twisted further than it should be.
My wrist is like this. So I'm just holding the fan like that. Up, cover, close, strike.
It all seems to be fine. It seems to be going too. At least my wrist seems to be going too far. As I'm
Possibly, there are two things. You could be exaggerating the movement. The other thing too is you might be hanging on with your shoulder. Okay, let me do that facing away from you or at an angle. So here's this. Here's that. Close. Strike. At another angle. Here. Down. Now, the shape. That's the snake shape. Okay, so when you look at the entire arm, that's the shape that we're getting into when we use the bong, when we have the snaking movement. And here, there. So it's that snake shape that what they have with the bong, or that we've been working with in Chen style as well. Okay, when you go down in the Chen like this, there's the fan and the shape. You have to have it go from finger to wrist to elbow to shoulder, which is what the fan is doing. You're here. Like that. So exactly the movement of the bong.
Mm.
You take the bong, you're like that. Does that help, Bob?
Yeah, I think so. It just looked the way it looked like you were doing it. It looked like it was getting twisted out further than
Yeah,
than my hand wanted to go.
remember, there's always a tendency to exaggerate whatever the teacher is doing. Okay, and this is, I think this is endemic to all styles, but I'm just going here, and then I'm going like that. And my arm is like that. So it's in a snake shape. Fair lady works the shuttles, cover, and then
Real slow.
except for that part. Sounds so nice.
I say do it real slow.
All right. Here. Or is it?
All right.
And now, that gets us into the point that Sophie raised last week, and that is the hand, which way it moves. I'm doing it one way, she was doing it another way. She's doing it the way that Helen Wu does it. So here, down, close the fan, chop with the fan. Here, shifting back, and you see how my hand goes to the elbow. Okay, so I've done this, and I've done this, and then my hand goes to the elbow. So you see, this is the Leah curve or circle. And then what I was doing is my hand comes down and goes out. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting. What Sophie pointed out was that what she's doing is she comes in with the hand coming like that. So she's bringing the person in, which is what Helen does. To be quite frank, both of them feel okay to me. I'm going to continue doing it the way I'm doing it. The reason being that for me, this feels good in terms of pulling in that front heel. So here, I'm back into this position right there. That just feels natural. However, try it the other way as well. So one way is you're bringing the person in. The other way, you got a strike going out with the edge of the hand to something like the collarbone. Any questions or remarks up to that point?
Hi, Steve.
Yes, Sophie.
When you open up the fan in that final posture before the circling,
Yeah.
it's slightly back weighted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And here's something that I noticed. I was watching the video this morning before the class of Helen going through the form. And there are some pretty significant differences between what she does and what we're doing, because she does a lot of things, including this movement in horse stance with equal weight on both feet.
Oh, equal weight.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, and she does that in quite a few positions. She also does it in part 2 in the sequence before, when you're opening and closing the fan, before you go into White Crane Flash's wings. Now, what I would like to have is more of a flow back and forth between the feet. But Helen is really planted, including right here.
To me, it feels more natural as an attack, back weighted slightly.
So,
because
and
the weapon.
I know that Helen, according to Jill, really did not like that video. But I don't know whether it was because of the format of the video or because of the way that she was doing it. But the thing that you have to remember is that Helen is a highly trained wushu practitioner. Okay, and one of the fan forms that she created was a Kung Fu fan form based on Shaolin. So we can use that video as a reference to give us a lot of ideas, but I think that there are certain points where we should feel free to depart from it. And the business about waiting is one area. So getting back to what Sophie was just looking at. Okay, here's the Fair Lady works the shuttles. Here's the covering action. And Helen just tends to block down. And I'm doing more of a flourish down, which is something out of Chen style. And it also gives me a chance to develop that snake shape. Whereas what Helen is doing is she's just coming down like that. And she's tending to block fairly hard. So I'd like to soften it up. So here's this, cover, close the fan, chop with the fan, horizontal Tai Chi symbol, thrust, shift, and you can see that I'm in a back stance. I'm not like that. Okay, so I am back, and then I'm shifting forward, whether you do it the way I'm doing it or the way that Helen does it. Okay, but for this, I do want to be back weighted somewhat rather than like this. Okay, thank you, Sophie. Any other questions?
Okay, Steve, it's Rob.
That's Rob.
Just a more of a comment. I find it really helpful when you relate things to the different circles, because I'll be trying to follow your hands or Helen's on the video and trying to keep them straight. But if you say, oh, this is a Leah circle or this is that, that makes it easier for me to relate to that and remember it.
Good. Thank you for the reassurance. One of the guys in the club who has got a real insight about this stuff is Paul Thorpe, who is a robotics engineer. And he says that one of the things we really need to pay attention to is the plane of the circle. Now, obviously, whenever you're dealing with a circle, you're usually dealing with a Tai Chi symbol. But the circles are either, there's basically only three possibilities. They're going to be on the vertical, okay, one way or the other way, okay, or they're going to be on the horizontal, or they're going to be on an angle. And we could chart our way through the whole form by understanding where the circles are. So that when you start looking at the form, say you're here, okay, and you look, there is a diagonal, here's a closure. Now, you see this is right in here. So it's on the vertical plane at a bit of an angle. Closing the fan. Then here, it's on the vertical plane straight to the front. And then here, we move to the horizontal plane. Then here, we're on the vertical plane again, and then horizontal plane. Now, whichever way you do your hand, vertical plane. So, you know, you're dealing with very clearly discernible circles. Okay, so I hope that that makes things simpler. It's important to be able to anatomize movement. Here, when I start off, well, this circle is here. And then we're now on the horizontal plane. Okay, coming across. Now here, vertical plane at an angle. And then horizontal plane, or rather I step through horizontal plane. Then here, the whole fan once again is on the vertical plane. Now it's going to be horizontal. Then here, it's on the perpendicular again. Go up. Does this help or just confuse?
I think it helps a lot.
Okay,
Thank you.
and Anne likes that too. Sophie?
I have another note, if anybody wants to put it in. After Fair Lady works the shuttle, to facilitate closing the fan, there's a Leah circle right there.
Yeah, it's another one of those Leah,
There's lots of Leahs throughout.
all the way through. They're knitting through everything. And this is something that's going to be fairly natural for people who do Chen or Old Yang. But it seems a bit of an add-on for people who only know the 108. The reason is that the Leah circling in the 108, it's there, but it's hidden. Okay, they took that out because they didn't want to share openly an awful lot of the combative stuff. And the Leah is terrifically important, which is why I put it in all over the 13 powers when I did that form. Right from the beginning when you float the elbow. So this is important. Okay, let's see whether we can get a bit further into it now. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Rob. So I'll move in that direction on the 90. Salute. Step out. Now here's where the circling begins. Perpendicular, horizontal, horizontal. Here. And now perpendicular. Protect the head. Protect the knee. Adjust the foot and level the arms. Step through. Then here you are, perpendicular again. And stab. Turn, 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 circle step. And come up. Fair Lady works the shuttles. Cover and block. Close the fan. And you see here, there's that circle. We're not moving the left arm so much, but the circle is still there. Here's the cover. Here's the closure. Here's the circle. Full Leah on the front vertical. Here it is on the horizontal, going out. Back, adjusting the feet, then moving the arm either way. Now we can pivot or we can walk. I'm going to shift my weight forward. I'm going to cross step, turn, and then step out. Make sure when you're back that you're not leaning back, that the tailbone's dropped and you can open your Mingmen. Now, cover again. Circle step. Turn. And once again, for ladies working the shovels, up, back, forward, back, raising the toe forward, close. Okay, so you got that hitting motion. And then you're going to be going and sinking. So take it from here, stepping through, turn, step out, up and back, forward and back, forward. I'm going to change my range here. And again, step around and step out, forward and back, forward and back, forward and close the fan. Hand is palm up, forms the fist. Palm up, weights to the right. The fist is palm down in front of the groin. The fan is up, sink, forward, adjust, right foot, left foot. Leah circle now, stepping forward. 1, 2, and raise the hand and the foot. So we're finishing, we're about to finish the form here. So here's the end of that movement. Here. One, two. Then I go like this. And that is the end of section 1. Once again, I'm here. Actually, I'll turn the angle, I'll change the angle. So I'm here. Here. Back. Snake creeps down. 1, 2, up, and out. So the fan is here, and then I look at the fan and I put down my foot and the fan changes. So the fan is like this, and then it's going to change to this. So I'm like this, and I go like that. So leg, and fan. And my hand is over here. And then Fair Lady works the shuttles to end section 1. Here. One. Up. I'm sorry. My mistake. Let's go back. It's hard to get a good teacher these days. Forward. And the fan is like that. Then I change. Then I go. So, again. Circle, step through. Okay, questions or comments?
Hi, Steve.
Well, go ahead, Sophie.
Go ahead.
The final posture when we're on one leg. So
Yeah.
the fan facing forward.
Yeah.
Where should the hand be and the toe?
Your hands, the one hand is extended. I'm going to step back here. So initially you're like this, right?
Mhm.
Then you're going like this. And then you're going up. You see, you have to be able to generate a circle with this hand. So the circle is doing in 2 parts. So here, here, here. Actually 3 parts. So there, there, there. Okay, so open, here, here. Let's try that together. Snake, And you see how the fan is like this. So there's the snake. There goes the fan blocking down, protecting your flank. The other hand is going in the other direction. So here, here, adjust your feet. See how the hand's coming in. Circle and up. My balance was bad there. So circle and up. Here. How's that?
Oh, hi, Steve. I think the final posture for me, because it's balance,
Uh-huh.
isn't in front, because this isn't stable.
Uh-huh.
My knee's up, but my hand is counterbalancing the fan.
Go for it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I tend to be here because I've turned. So the two hands, for me, are equal. Then I'm going like this before coming out.
Okay, thanks.
So the one hand obviously balances the fan, and you got to have that balance if you're on one leg. Now, whether the hand is in front, my hand's in the front, but you see my torso is turned. So when I turn in here, I still have got my balance before I go up. But when you look at the variability that is inherent in performances of this kind of form, work out a method that works for you. Let's take it off the top, part one. Salute. Commencement. And you've got all the spiraling down in your hips. Trap. Strike. Guard, head and knee. Level, shifting the arms and the heel. Step through. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the fan, and without smashing the Christmas crush, come up. There's the first fair lady who works the shuttles. Cover and ward. Close the fan. Chop. Horizontal plane. Thrust. Open the position and the feet. Back weighted. Step through. Now you can pivot or you can step. I'm going to step. Step out. Cover and block. Step around. Cross step back. Step out. Up and back. Forward and back. Forward. Close the fan. Hit. Hit. Snake creeps down. Stepping through. Again. I'm slowing it down now. There's the snake shape in the arm. Top, no weight to the right foot. Now shift the weight as you do the twist step. Trust. Adjust your feet. Open the right foot, close the left. And back weighted. Adjust the front foot, step through. Either pivot or step. Stepping out and back. Forward and back. Forward. Cover. Circle step. Cross step backwards and out. Up and back. Forward and back, raising the toe. Forward. Hip. 1, 2. Stepping through. Okay, anything?
Steve, it's Rob. Before you go into snake creeps down, is there a place where you should be trying to widen your stance so that you can get lower in the creeping down?
If you're going to go low, it's when the weight is on the left foot before you enter it. Okay? If you let the weight shift to the left foot, then you can cheat the right foot out.
Okay.
And when you shift in that direction, you've got more room. This also applies to all of the other Tai Chi forms. It is what I always do when I'm doing the 108. Okay, I'm always widening the stance before I go into the snake. So, so I'm here. The weight between my feet is not far enough. See how I went forward? Now I got the distance. Okay, so it's at the end of that move. I'm here, and I'm going to do the hit in that direction. I shift my weight forward, and I get the right foot back. Then, here. And you see all of a sudden I've got much more space between my feet. Okay, Rob?
Yes, thank you very much.
And that's part of the issue of setting up for what comes next. To make it less obvious in competition, quite often what competitors will do is they'll put some foil, aluminum foil on the bottom of the right shoe. So without that kind of obvious weight shift, they can slide the foot out without being obvious about it. These are all the kinds of little cheats you learn when you're in a tournament setting. Other questions?
Morning, Steve. It's Mike.
Yes, Mike.
I have a question or maybe a comment. Coming out of the snake and into standing on one leg, I'm adding a circle step with my right step to set me up to stand on the one leg. I'm not sure, it seems to work for me, but I'm not sure if it's a flourish or ornamentation or unnecessary or.
Mike, can you show us?
Sure.
You're going to have to change the view though, so we can see your feet.
I
You're
don't
gonna-
think I can do that.
You'll have to tilt your screen slightly. There, good,
Oops. That's about the
Good.
best I can do.
okay.
So, we're doing the snake.
Yep,
We shift our feet.
yep.
Here, circle step right there to get me to here.
Looks nice,
So what
you know?
it's doing is that the entire right side of the body is doing this.
Yeah,
at the same
I would call this a bit of embroidery. That is Mike Hodgins. No reason not to do it.
Okay.
All right.
It feels good to me, but I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I was doing something.
Whereas
that
I'm
I-
tending to move straight. Okay, so that's a difference in the way we do it. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Other questions? Okay, Anne, is this holding together, coming together for you? I can't hear you. Anne?
I'm good. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. You know, I am in a meditative trance. So I think it's sinking into my brain, but I love the way it empties my head and I just focus on what we're doing.
Well, we're getting a discussion, we're having a discussion among some people in the club right now as to whether our bodies are emitting musical tones
Yeah.
when we go through Tai Chi forms. If they are, they're obviously at a low frequency that we can't hear. But Randy Brown insists that this is the case, and he says that one of the things that he really misses about not being Tai Chi in a group in the club is that he feels that much more strongly in a group setting, because he thinks that we are resonating as a group, whereas we're doing it solo right now through Zoom. It's an interesting speculation that I think it would contribute to being in a meditative state. Is this working okay for you, Judy?
Yeah, this is great, Steve. This is really solidifying what we did this summer in the park for me. It's fantastic.
Okay. And Bob, is it working for you?
Yeah, and there's a lot of information, so it's definitely going to take a lot of review.
Remind me to tell you the joke about the Presbyterian preacher in the Highlands who dumped the whole load. Okay, but I'll leave that for another occasion. It says it's a very pertinent criticism in terms of my teaching. Okay, instead of quizzing all of you, let's do it again. And I think I'll go this way. I'll have to readjust my space. Salute. Left foot goes out. To the corner. Come across. Spiraling down some more. Open the right foot. Shift, follow stance. Trapping circle clockwise. Step out. Strike to the rear. Coming back. Protect the head. Sit and protect the knee. Adjust the arms, pivoting in the left toe, pivot in the right heel, and I got to watch that spider plant there. Then 1, stab, 2, 3, putting down the heel, 4, pivoting in the toe, 5, pivoting out the left toe, over the head, coming up without bashing the spider plant, and Fair Lady works the shuttles, cover, close the fan, block, chop, circle horizontally, thrust. Open the right foot, close the left, close, bring in the left heel, step through. Now, adjusting my space again. This time I'll step it. So 1, 2, 3, grasp sparrow's tail. Cover, circle step, cross step back, and again, grasp sparrow's tail. Stepping back, strike, block, left, block, right, snake creeps down. Circle, stepping through, and up. Get ready, go. Again. Salute. And. Okay. Getting tired here. Let's go back to the beginning. That was pretty shitty. Salute. Have to regain my focus. Okay, so I'm here. I'm just going to pivot. Okay, we're approaching the end of our time. Questions? Anything from Daniela? Anything from Tanya? Anything from Jill?
Hi, Steve, it's Jill.
Hi, Jill.
I had a thought based on something that we did earlier this week. You had somebody suggest that you tie a red bandana around your left wrist, and
Right.
Eileen said it was very helpful. So this is my third session on this form. And of course, while I know the different postures and so on, I think what is challenging for me, because we are only in the Zoom environment, is I follow your hands fine, but the movements to get from one posture to another with your feet is sometimes tricky because I keep having to mentally flip where you are depending on what direction you're in.
Right.
Just a thought. Would it be helpful for us relative beginners to actually put a bandana on your ankle?
On my ankle.
Yeah. And the reason I'm asking is
Sure.
that if you decide which one is more pertinent for the overall form in terms of moving between the postures, what it might do, and again, just an experiment, I'm not sure if it would work, is when you tell us, for instance, right foot, left foot, in order to get into the next posture, I find that it breaks my concentration from the flow of the arms into where I'm supposed to go next, because I'm not familiar enough posture to posture.
Okay, well, that suggestion came originally, I think, from Judy, who in my screen is right underneath you, and I think she's sort of nodding her head. Okay, so yes, I will do that next session.
Okay.
I think a red bandana around my ankle will add something to my gypsy, je ne sais quoi.
That's right. You're Irish gypsy.
Left arm and left ankle.
Okay.
Steve,
No,
can I add something to
I have a
this?
suggestion.
Yeah.
It's Ann. This is my primary teacher background. So if you're going to use red, think right.
Red
Right
to right?
arm, right leg.
Okay. Right arm, right leg. That's what I'll do.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yes, Judy.
So I'm going to add one more addendum to that idea. I've done this when teaching martial arts to young kids.
Yeah.
And I actually put a bandana on all the kids' legs as well too. And then instead of saying right and left, it was scarf leg, not scarf leg. So for people who are truly having trouble, if we all tie a bandana to our same leg, it is amazing how much easier it makes it.
Right leg, everybody. Right leg and right wrist. Okay. Now, I just brought along a couple of little things that I thought you'd be interested in. These are implements from the practice of Tantra in Buddhism. These are ritual implements. This is called a furba, and it is not a dagger. It is a representation of a dagger. Okay, so it's not sharp. You couldn't cut anything with it, but if need be, it would allow a monk to effectively defend himself from somebody that was getting aggressive. And it represents, as does this, in terms of the Han Shan's poem, this is the sword of true wisdom to cut down the thieves of senseless desire. So that's a furba. This is a dorje. Okay, it is held like this with the two middle fingers. So you have these two little tits of steel that are out on the side. This is comes in different sizes. There was one method where the claws here were open, so you could catch a sword if you had incredible nerves. But once again, you can see that this could be absolutely lethal in terms of self-defense. So that's monastic. This is civilian. Okay, it's a variation on the same thing. It gives you two non-lethal butt ends. It's held with the middle two fingers. And this is something that you could slip into your sleeve or into your pocket and have at hand if you really needed to. Now, at a somewhat different level, this piece of wood is a variation on the yawara. It's called a kubotan after the gentleman, a policeman, who developed it in Japan. His name was, I believe, Kubota. And it is usually used for pressure point hitting. To be quite frank, I've been through 1 or 2 pressure point courses, and I didn't think they were that great because it's the kind of thing that works in some people, but not on others. It makes much more sense to think of this in terms of leverage. However, if you use it as the handle for a keychain, what you're dealing with is something that is very similar to a fan in terms of how it works. So it's a way of changing a keychain into a flail. Okay, and this is giving you a good grip on your flail. So basic self-defense stuff to illustrate that the fan is not as impractical as one might think. We don't carry fans around. This one, of course, is loaded with some glass beads, but that piece of wood with the keys would be even more lethal or more effective. So anyhow, if there are no more questions, let's close it up.
Steve, Anne speaking. One more
Yes,
question. Can you show me the glass beads? How did you adhere them with glue?
Oh no, they're sewn in. Okay, Karna did it. Can you make that out? It's little bunches of 5 of them.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
So five, all right. 5 total.
some of them are on one side, some of them are on the other, alternating. And you can see they're not all the way along. I think that might make it a bit heavy. I wanted something that would just add a little bit of weight. It also helps the fan open and close. That little bit of extra weight in the ruffle. One of the things I will point out is that when you're using the female fan with the ruffle, you get a better sense of the passage of the implement through the air because the ruffle catches the air more. And so I think that it does help you with some of the movement. And you can also sense, you know, that flicking that turns up again and again in the form. You get a better sense of how that works. You wouldn't have as effective a flicking movement if you had a fan without the ruffle, the male fan. So this is a case where I think that the female fan with the ruffle is, for self-defense purposes, more effective, and it relates more directly to this.
Okay, just so I've got it straight, you've used a total of 5 beads, alternating sides.
Yeah. 5 in each little batch. And I think it worked out to every 3rd rib. Okay, so starting with the end rib, it was every 3rd rib to the end. That's how it worked out. Okay. Alrighty. And this is the lady also who's got a large supply of sequins because of her belly dance, and I can tell that she's the little mind is working. Alrighty. Are there any other questions? Okay, let's close her up then. So I hope that you all have a really good week, and I hope that you're able to do your Christmas shopping safely. Alrighty. Good health, and see you in future sessions. Bye-bye.